Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going to walk step by step through calculating the precise amount of heat energy needed to warm up a specific amount of water. So let's dive right into this fundamental chemistry problem. Here is the exact problem we'll be tackling: finding the total heat required to raise 7.35 grams of water from 21.0 degrees Celsius all the way up to 98.0 degrees Celsius. To put that into some everyday context, we're basically taking a very small amount of water from roughly room temperature up to a near boiling state. Now, before we can calculate that total heat, we need to understand a concept I like to call a substance's thermal personality. In chemistry, this is formally known as specific heat capacity, and we represent it with a lowercase letter c. You see, every material out there behaves entirely differently when exposed to heat. Some things, like a copper wire or an iron pan, heat up in an absolute flash. But other materials are incredibly stubborn, and they require a massive amount of thermal energy just to nudge their temperature up by a single degree. For liquid water, this thermal personality is highly specific. It takes exactly 4.18 joules of energy to raise just one single gram of water by exactly 1 degree Celsius. And since our problem gives us much more than 1 gram of water, and we need to raise it by way more than 1 degree, we know right off the bat that we're going to need significantly more energy than just a few joules. To pull all of these physical factors together, we're going to use the core heat formula, Q equals M times C times delta T. It's such an elegant equation because it perfectly accounts for how much stuff you have, what kind of stuff it is, and exactly how hot you want to make it. All right, let's start mapping out our given knowns so we have everything organized before we build our equation. Our mass, M, is 7.35 grams. Our initial starting temperature is 21.0 degrees, our final target temperature is 98.0 degrees, and that specific heat constant for water is 4.18 joules per gram degrees Celsius. Laying it out like this is absolutely crucial to prevent any mix-ups later on. First things first, we need to calculate our delta T. That's the exact temperature gap our water needs to climb. Remember, the Greek letter delta simply means change in. So before we can find the total heat energy required, we have to establish exactly how many degrees we are forcing this tiny amount of water to warm up. Now watch out here because there's a really common pitfall you want to avoid. You must always calculate this gap by subtracting your final minus initial. If you do it the other way around, you're going to end up with a negative number. And in thermodynamics, a negative number implies your substance is actually losing energy or cooling down, which is definitely not what's happening here. I highly recommend treating this as a golden rule for your thermodynamics problems. Since we are actively raising the temperature of this water, our delta T absolutely must be a positive value. A positive temperature gap clearly signals that thermal energy is being absorbed into our system from some outside heat source. So let's do the math. We find that our precise temperature gap is 77.0 degrees Celsius. That right there is the thermal mountain our little sample of water has to climb. Okay, we've got all our puzzle pieces. Let's substitute our known values directly into that core heat formula. We drop in our mass of 7.35 grams, we multiply that by water's specific heat of 4.18, and then we multiply that by our newly calculated temperature gap of 77.0 degrees Celsius. But wait, before we just blindly punch numbers into a calculator, let's look at how beautifully the units behave here through dimensional analysis. The grams from our mass completely cancel out the grams in the denominator of the specific heat, and those degrees Celsius cancel out our temperature units entirely. This leaves us strictly with joules, which is perfect because it proves our formula is correctly set up to solve for pure thermal energy. Now for the fun part. Multiplying these three numbers out gives us a raw, unrefined mathematical output of 2,365.671 joules. That is a pretty big number, and it represents a truly massive amount of molecular movement and energy transfer happening inside that water. And finally, for standard academic formatting, especially since we are dealing with large thermodynamic values, we want to finalize this answer using scientific notation. We can express it cleanly and professionally as 2.37 times 10 to the power of 3 joules. And there we have it. That is the polished, fully accurate final answer to our problem. To wrap up this explainer, let's think about what we just discovered. It takes over 2,000 joules of pure thermal energy just to bring a tiny amount of water, literally about a teaspoon and a half, up to a near boiling state. Water is just incredibly stubborn when it comes to changing its temperature. But I want to leave you with a provocative thought. Knowing what you now know about thermal personalities, what would happen to that massive energy requirement if we tried heating up something with a much lower specific heat capacity than water? Would it take more energy or less? Keep that in mind the next time you turn on the stove. Thanks so much for learning with me today.